Hello and welcome. Today, we dive into a powerful story about love, resilience, and the courage to look beyond appearances. It's a tale of a humble man rejected for seeming poor, who turns out to be the visionary behind Zambia's largest fabric empire, proving that true wealth lies in character, not possessions. Chilufya was not the kind of man who sought attention. Living in Lusaka, he managed a sprawling fabric empire, Zambezi Threads, yet his heart remained tied to Colombo village, where his late grandmother had raised him. Every month, he made the journey to check on her old homestead, a modest house surrounded by fields of wildflowers. For Chilufya, these trips grounded him, reminding him of the lessons she had taught about humility, resilience, and the value of community. One such visit changed his life. It was market day, and the village square bustled with life, traders shouting prices, children chasing each other, and women bargaining for fresh produce. Chilufya wandered the rows, taking in the lively scene when he was drawn to a particular stall. There, a young woman, Mwansa, sold intricately woven baskets alongside her mother. Her laughter rang like music, and her energy made the entire stall come alive. Chilufya found himself standing still, watching her with quiet admiration. He approached her stall, fumbling over his words as he picked up a basket. Mwansa noticed his shyness and smiled warmly. "Are you buying that for someone special or just admiring my work?" she teased. Caught off guard, Chilufya chuckled nervously. "Maybe both," he replied, earning a genuine laugh from her. Over the following weeks, Chilufya found reasons to return to the market. Though he claimed to need more baskets, it became obvious he was drawn to Mwansa. Their conversations deepened, moving from playful banter to meaningful discussions about dreams and values. Mwansa revealed her love for her family and her desire to make a difference in her community, while Chilufya shared glimpses of his childhood struggles. He avoided mentioning his business, unsure if she would see him differently if she knew of his wealth. Mwansa admired his humility and kindness, feeling a connection that went beyond words. Chilufya, in turn, was captivated by her independence and unwavering moral compass. Though they came from different worlds, their bond felt undeniable. Months later, Chilufya decided it was time to take the next step. Following tradition, he gathered his uncle, Bamutale, and a group of elders to formally request Mwansa's hand in marriage. Chilufya deliberately kept the meeting simple, arriving in a borrowed van and wearing modest clothes. He wanted Mwansa's family to see him for who he truly was, not for his possessions. At Mwansa's home, the mood was tense. Balungu, Mwansa's father, sat at the head of the family, exuding pride and authority. Known for his fixation on wealth and status, he watched Chilufya with a critical eye. The elders presented Chilufya's intentions, speaking of his character and his love for Mwansa. But Balungu's expression darkened as he assessed Chilufya's modest appearance. "Is this all he has to offer?" Balungu scoffed, interrupting the formalities. "A man who cannot even arrive in his own car?" Mwansa's mother, Nachanda, hesitated, her maternal instincts clashing with her loyalty to her husband. "Mwansa deserves security, Lungu," she murmured. "This young man, he doesn't look like he can provide it." Chilufya remained calm, addressing Balungu respectfully. "With all due respect, sir, love and character build a home, not possessions. I may not appear wealthy, but I assure you I can provide a good life for Mwansa." Balungu waved him off, dismissing him outright. "My daughter will not marry a man who cannot provide even the simplest comforts." He turned to the elders, signaling that the meeting was over. Mwansa, overhearing the commotion, rushed into the room. "This isn't fair," she argued. "Chilufya is a good man and I love him. Why can't that be enough?" But Balungu stood firm. "You'll thank me one day, Mwansa, when you see the life you could have." Outside, Mwansa followed Chilufya as he prepared to leave, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "You don't deserve this." Chilufya smiled gently, his voice steady. "Love is patient, Mwansa. This isn't the end. I'll find a way." Back in Lusaka, Chilufya's life was a stark contrast to the man Balungu had dismissed. His home was a testament to his success, a sprawling estate with lush gardens and elegant furnishings. Workers at Zambezi Threads greeted him with deep respect, addressing him as Ba Chilufya. Despite his achievements, Chilufya remained grounded, driven by the values instilled in him by his grandmother. At the factory, Chilufya met with Mulenga, his childhood friend and business partner. Over tea, he recounted the rejection he faced at Mwansa's home. Mulenga, outraged, urged him to reveal his wealth to silence Balungu's arrogance. "You've built something incredible, Chilufya. Why let him treat you like this?" Chilufya shook his head. "If I win their approval by showing them my money, I'll never know if they respect me for who I am. I need them to see me beyond my success." Meanwhile, Mwansa faced mounting pressure at home. Balungu introduced her to Kunda, a flashy businessman who owned a fleet of trucks. Kunda arrived at their home with a convoy of vehicles, stepping out in loud designer clothes and showering the family with expensive gifts. Balungu was ecstatic, seeing Kunda as the ideal suitor. Mwansa, however, was repelled by Kunda's arrogance and dismissive attitude toward those less fortunate. "Wealth without kindness is meaningless," she told her father, but Balungu brushed off her protests. In secret, Mwansa wrote letters to Chilufya, pouring out her frustrations and love. Her best friend, Chipo, helped deliver the letters, keeping their connection alive. Through her letters, Mwansa revealed her doubts, not about Chilufya's love, but about why he had remained silent during the proposal. She wondered if his silence reflected weakness or wisdom. Chilufya read her words under the Lusaka skyline, his heart aching with both love and determination. "I'll show them who I am," he resolved, "but not through riches, through my actions." Life at Mwansa's home grew increasingly strained as Balungu tightened his grip on her future. His refusal to acknowledge Chilufya led to frequent arguments, leaving the once warm household cold and divided. Mwansa found solace in her best friend, Chipo, who had always been her confidant. "Follow your heart, Mwansa," Chipo urged, helping her deliver letters to Chilufya in secret. Meanwhile, Balungu escalated his efforts to pair Mwansa with Kunda, a brash businessman who flaunted his wealth at every opportunity. When Kunda arrived at their home, it was with a convoy of luxury cars and an entourage of men who carried his gifts, a gold watch, imported wine, and extravagant jewelry for Mwansa's mother. Balungu's eyes gleamed with approval as Kunda entered their modest living room, his cologne overpowering the room. Mwansa sat stiffly, her discomfort evident as Kunda boasted about his success. "Hard work is for the weak," he declared, leaning back in his chair. "Smart men make money work for them." His dismissive attitude toward the struggles of ordinary people made Mwansa's stomach turn. After Kunda left, Balungu pressed Mwansa to consider him. "This is the kind of man who can secure your future," he insisted. Mwansa, fighting tears, replied, "What good is wealth if it comes without respect or kindness?" As days passed, Mwansa's inner conflict deepened. She loved Chilufya, but her father's words planted seeds of doubt. Why hadn't Chilufya defended himself more during the proposal? Was his silent strength or submission? Yet each letter she received from him reminded her of his unwavering love and patience. She clung to the belief that Chilufya would prove himself, not just to her family, but to the entire village. The annual Colombo Harvest Festival was the biggest event of the year, a time for villagers to celebrate their agricultural success and enjoy music, dance, and storytelling. This year, however, the festival promised to be extraordinary. A mysterious sponsor had donated exquisite fabric, decorations, and prizes, sparking excitement and speculation. Chilufya decided to attend, but he did so quietly, blending into the crowd in a traditional Chitanje outfit. He wanted the focus to remain on the community, not himself. As the festival began, Mwansa noticed the fabric draped around the square and the prizes displayed on the stage. The intricate patterns and high quality were unmistakable. These were designs Chilufya had once described as his grandmother's legacy. The climax of the festival came when the chief of Colombo stepped onto the stage. Today, he announced, we honor the generosity of Chilufya of Zambezi Threads. His contributions have elevated our festival to new heights. Gasps rippled through the crowd as Chilufya stepped forward. His presence was both humble and commanding, his outfit reflecting the richness of his heritage. Balungu's face froze in disbelief, while Mwansa's heart swelled with pride and emotion. Chilufya addressed the crowd, his voice steady. I grew up in Colombo, raised by a grandmother who taught me that true wealth is not in possessions, but in community and character. This village shaped me, and it is my honor to give back. The crowd erupted in applause, and for the first time, Balungu looked uncertain. As the festival ended, Balungu approached Chilufya awkwardly. Perhaps I misjudged you, he said, avoiding eye contact. Chilufya, ever gracious, replied, I only hope to earn your respect, sir. After the festival, Mwansa and Chilufya reunited under the shade of a large mango tree near her home. Though overjoyed to see him, Mwansa couldn't suppress her lingering questions. Why didn't you tell me? She asked, her voice trembling. Did you think I couldn't love you if I knew? Chilufya sighed, his gaze steady. I wanted you to love me for who I am, Mwansa, not for what I've achieved. I've seen how wealth can change how people see you, and I didn't want that to happen to us. Mwansa nodded, but her emotions were conflicted. I loved you as you were, she said softly, but I wish you had trusted me enough to share your truth. Their conversation was interrupted by Balungu, who joined them hesitantly. I owe you an apology, he said, his voice uncharacteristically humble. I judged you unfairly, and I was wrong. A man's worth is not in what he wears, but in what he builds. Though hurt by the initial rejection, Chilufya accepted Balungu's apology, offering a handshake that carried both forgiveness and a quiet reminder of dignity. I love Mwansa, Chilufya said firmly. That has never depended on anyone's approval. Mwansa, now caught between her family's newfound respect for Chilufya and the lingering questions about trust in their relationship, asked for time to think. I need to reconcile my heart and my mind, she told him, setting the stage for the story's resolution. In the days that followed, Balungu made a genuine effort to rebuild his relationship with Mwansa. Sitting with her one evening, he admitted, I thought I was protecting you, but in my pride, I almost cost you your happiness. You've chosen a good man, Mwansa, and I see that now. Mwansa forgave her father but set boundaries. If you trust me, let me make my own decisions, Papa, she said. Balungu nodded, the weight of his mistakes evident. Meanwhile, Chilufya worked behind the scenes to uplift Colombo. He repaired the local school, funded a cooperative for weavers, and ensured the villagers felt empowered rather than patronized. His actions, more than his words, earned the respect of the community and Balungu. The wedding was a grand affair, blending tradition with modernity. The village square was transformed with vibrant fabrics from Zambezi Threads. Mwansa, radiant in her custom Chitenja wedding dress, walked beside Chilufya, who wore a tailored suit reflecting both heritage and elegance. The crowd cheered as the couple exchanged vows under the warm Zambian sun. Chilufya's speech during the reception was heartfelt. True wealth lies in the lives we touch and the love we share, he said, addressing the crowd. Even Balungu nodded in agreement, his transformation complete. After the wedding, Chilufya and Mwansa split their time between Lusaka and Colombo. Mwansa started an initiative empowering women through traditional crafts, while Chilufya expanded Zambezi Threads with a focus on community upliftment. Balungu, now an advocate for humility, often shared his story as a cautionary tale. Never judge a man by his clothes, he'd say, smiling proudly at his son-in-law. In the final scene, Chilufya and Mwansa stood on their veranda, watching the sunset over Colombo. "We've come a long way," Chilufya said. Mwansa leaned into him, her voice full of love. "And it was worth every step. Thank you for joining us on this journey of love, humility, and redemption. This story reminds us all that true value is found not in what we own, but in the strength of our character and the depth of our connections. Until next time, stay inspired, stay grounded, and remember, greatness often hides in the humblest of places. Goodbye